I celebrated my first Halloween. Although wearing an eye patch and calling it a pirate costume was a pretty sorry excuse of a celebration, but anyway, I apologized a lot that day because I kept bumping into people and I kept tripping over things because I could not see anything on my left-hand side. That day I realized that looking at the world with one eye closed is not very efficient. And I started wondering, why is it that we look at climate change with one eye closed? Why is it that we only look at temperature and how it might increase in the future, or we look at precipitation, that is rain and snow, and how it might change in the future? There is nothing inherently wrong about this method. If we study these processes individually, they do give us some information, but they cannot paint the whole picture. Let's take a couple of examples to understand this. Let's say next year you get an unreasonably warm winter. You would say that's a good thing because winters here are freezing, right? Well, what if you get an unreasonably wet winter at the same time? Then you've got all of your snow melting and you've got rainfall on top of that. And by the end of it, you're looking at all the millions of dollars that Canada spends on flooding every year. Let's take another example. Let's say next year you get a really hot summer. Now that is bad as it is, but what if you get a really dry summer at the same time? Then you're looking at droughts. Droughts that have caused damages of up to $5 billion to the Canadian agriculture in the past, especially to the Canadian prairies, from where most of the food on your plate comes from. What I'm trying to do with my research is to show both sides of this picture at the same time. I'm looking at all the dangerous and sometimes not so dangerous recipes that temperature, rainfall, and snowfall is creating across different regions all over Canada. This research has helped uncover evidence that most of Canada has been getting warmer and wetter throughout the last 60 years, and this trend will continue to grow worse into the future. The only exception are the Canadian prairies, where most of the agriculture is. That area has been getting hotter and drier through the passage of time. And I've already mentioned that that is a perfect, although unfortunate, recipe for droughts. What all of this means is that our climate change adaptation strategies cannot solely rely on temperature alone. Because when I look at this long-term trend, I realize that what we call extreme weather conditions might just be the new normal conditions of tomorrow. We have to look at the joint variability of all these variables, or we are only looking at the half-truth, and half-truths can sometimes be more dangerous than lies. Thank you.